Good day, everyone. My name is Toyosi Labeodo. I'm the principal immigration consultant at TrueLink Immigration Services. TrueLink is a Canadian-based immigration consulting firm. We have a head office in Edmonton, Canada, and have a branch office in Nigeria. Welcome again to one of our seminar series. And today we're going to be talking about the importance of a well-written statement of purpose when you are applying for Canada study visa. I'm sure many of us are aware that when you are applying for a study visa, you are supposed to add a statement of purpose to your application. Some may not be aware actually, and it's actually very funny too that when you check the checklists which is given to us on the website of IRCC, that's Immigration, Refugee and Citizen Canada. When you check their checklist, statement of purpose is not one of the things on their checklist. If you look at this, you're going to assume that it might not really be very important, but I tell you that is very wrong. We have had many clients that we have assisted with study visas in the past, and a lot of other people have actually come to me with refusals. And when I look at some of those letters, some of the refusal letters, one of the things that some of the officers complain about is that their statement of purpose looks vague. So if an officer will say your statement of purpose looks vague, it means that he considered it. So imagine if you also don't have a statement of purpose. Definitely, one of the things he can actually say is that you don't have a clear purpose of coming to Canada. It's possible he says that. So statement of purpose is actually a very vital document that must be included in your study application package when you are applying for study visa to Canada. So the fact that it's not on the checklist of what IRCC is asking you to add to your application, that does not mean that it's not important. It is really very, very important. So let's go on. What is a statement of purpose? In my own definition, I'll just tell you it's a short essay that actually shows your path via life as a story. I can also tell you that it's also a short essay that allows the visa officer to peek into your background and have an idea of who you are and why you want to go to Canada to study what you want to go and study. A statement of purpose is also a document or a short essay that actually assists to persuade the visa officer so he can issue you a visa. All in all, it's actually an important piece in the application puzzle because it can actually have a lot of impacts on you getting the visa or you not getting the visa. So why is statement of purpose very important? One of the reasons why this document is very important is because officers assessing your study visa application, they have so many applications that they are reviewing. In fact, we've heard that an officer may have like 200 study visas or 200 applications to review in like 30 minutes. So put yourself in that person's shoe. If you have like 300 or 200 applications to review in 30 minutes, how are you going to go about it? And don't forget that there are some of those applications that have like 100 documents attached with them. Some may have like 50 documents attached with them. Some may have 5 to 10 documents attached with them. You are expected to review each one of these documents. Some of them are okay, like some of them would include statement of purpose. Some of them will also include letters written by the immigration consultant that handle the work for them. So how many minutes do you really have to go through all these documents when you have like 200 applications to go through in a period of 30 minutes? So when officers have a lot of applications on their hand, in my own view, it makes it so easy for them to go through your statement of purpose. And if your statement of purpose is well written, all the documents that you have attached will be well explained in your statement of purpose. So imagine you have like 100 documents or 100-page documents or 50, let's even say 50-page documents that you have attached to your application. If you have explained all those things in your statement of purpose, it's going to be so easy for the officer to just scan through it, read from part of it, see the part he wants to go to, and he can easily go from your statement of purpose. It can be so easy for him to go and check documents that you have attached, and it's not compulsory he has to go through all of them. If he looks at the major ones he wants to look at, he can decide to give you this or not. So if an officer has so much work to do, it makes it so easy for him to read your statement of purpose and understand what you have put in the document, understand why you want to go and study, understand everything about you. And on that basis, he can use that to decide whether he wants to give you the visa or not. So you should understand that if the statement of purpose is well written, it gives you an edge. And that edge is the officer can easily look at it, and instead of really going through all the documents you have submitted with your application, he can use that to make a judgment on your file and possibly use that to approve your study visa. Now, one other important thing that statement of purpose does for us, or for those that want to go and study, is that it actually helps to explain issues that the application form does not capture. And I'll give an example. Imagine you having someone that has been a bank manager for 10 years who now decided that he's coming to Canada to study nursing. The form that you fill, which is actually the form from IRCC, will not ask you to tell them why you are changing your profession, or why do you want to go and start nursing after you have worked in a bank as a bank manager for 10 years. The form will just ask you, what course are you going to study? You write it there. It will ask you, what is your highest level of education? You write it there. And possibly maybe you have an MBA in something in corporate governance or marketing. So how do you now explain the fact that you have a BSc in biochemistry, or you have let's say, okay, let me even say you have a BSc in sociology, you have a master's in business administration, and now you are going to Canada to study nursing? The application form would not actually capture all that. But when you have a statement of purpose in your application, you can fill in that gap by writing it there. So the officer is able to understand that, okay, this is this. I studied sociology in school, I did an MBA, but this is my passion. You'll be able to explain why you are changing your profession, why you decided to leave banking for nursing. And if you're able to come out with a good reason, and a reason that, if you are able to justify the reason for changing that, there's a high chance that you get a visa. So these are things that are not captured in the application form, that can only be captured when you pick up paper and write a statement of purpose. And in that statement of purpose, you clearly explain why you are changing that. So you can understand that's one major reason why statement of purpose is really very, very important. I'll give another reason. One of the things under this same aspect of talking about explaining issues that the officer needs to understand. When it comes to proof of funds for study, you need to show that you have sufficient funds to take care of your study. Many times you have applicants coming with multiple sources of funds. For example, you can have your dad sponsoring you also, even though you have some money in your own account. You can have your uncle adding his own documents to it, or some other things, or maybe you have other assets like land, you have a house, which are also assets. It's not compulsory that you must have cash alone. The other things, you could also have investments, treasury bill, so many other things that you can use as proof of funds. Yeah. If you have things like that, the form will only ask you how much is available for your study. That's all. You write it there. And the form can also ask you, okay, who is paying for it? Possibly you write yourself and your dad, or yourself and your uncle, or whoever. You write that there. But there could be other sources. If you write that in your form, the officer can just decide to check for your bank statement. And if you check your bank statement and sees that, oh, the money you have is not up to what you need to study, you could use that to refuse your visa on the basis of financial and asset and likes of them, financial reasons that you don't have enough funds to finance your study. But if you have a statement of purpose, in this statement of purpose, you would have taken your time to explain your source of funds. Apart from your source of funds, you'll be able to write it out and break it down. Okay, this is from this source, this is this amount, from this source, this is amount. If you are selling an asset, like maybe you have a house that is worth millions of naira or thereabout, oh, this is the document, I'm selling this, or you have sold it or something. You can document all those things down clearly in your statement of purpose. And the officer can read it, the officer assessing your work can read it, go through it, and understand, oh, okay, this is what you mean, this is why you said you have these funds. So things that the officer might not find it easy to understand in the application form, you can break them down easily into things that he can easily pick and understand in your statement of purpose. This helps you very well to ensure that the officer does not refuse a visa. Because if there are things that he has issues with when he's going through your application form and he feels, what, I don't really understand this, it might not, really some of them will give you the opportunity to explain it, but many times they don't give you the opportunity. And the next thing you will just see is they just send you a visa letter. So the benefit, one good benefit of the statement of purpose is it allows you to explain issues that you need the officer to know that are not actually in the application form that you filled. Because really, the application form that you are using, that you fill when you are submitting your application, is supposed to capture all what they need to use to decide on your application. But many times it does not. And I tell you, there are some people that have very big profiles that the application form is just not sufficient enough for us to capture all the details that they have. Some people have houses, they have investment, they have businesses, which we need to explain, which they need to explain in a statement of purpose. And one other thing you need to understand is the statement of purpose is supposed to be written by the students, not by the agent or the consultant that is helping you with your application. It is you that needs to write it. It's you. It's about you. It's about your profile. It's about your medium and long-term goals. You are supposed to write it. So just like I said, it's a short essay that indirectly or indirectly shows your past via life as a story, explaining everything about yourself, what you want to do now, what you have done before, what you want to do now, and what you plan to do tomorrow. That's just what a statement of purpose does. So how do we come in as immigration consultants? I want to be sure that some of you know that we are licensed immigration consultants. We help as clients process study visas. If you want to come to Canada, either temporarily or permanently, you can come to Canada temporarily as a student, as a tourist, as a visitor, or even temporarily as a work permit holder. And you can actually also come here as a permanent resident. These are all things that we do. There are over 80 programs that you can use to migrate to Canada. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the importance of a well-written statement of purpose for Canada study visa application. So how do we come in as immigration consultants? If you retain our services, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to give you a template that you're going to use to write your statement of purpose. This actually helps to simplify the process and makes it easy for you to come up with a good statement of purpose. We have a template that will give to you with different headings that will actually allow you to write the story of your life easily without you having to go through any stress. The next thing that we also do is we also guide you on how to write a good statement of purpose. So we're giving you a template. We'll not stop there. We'll take it a step further by guiding you on how to write it. I said earlier on that this is supposed to be written by you, not by us. But definitely, we'll give you a template and we'll also guide you on what you need to do. Apart from that, even when you have written something, we'll proofread it. We'll go through it, and if there are things that we think you could write better, we'll guide you and tell you how to write it. Where people proofread what you have written and assist you to edit it, and whatever we see that you need to change or replace or rewrite, we'll tell you what to do, how you need to do it, and what you need to do about that. And one other thing we also do is that we'll go over the basic structure of what it entails, guide you on what to do, and ensure that your statement of purpose, once you are done with it, once the officer sees it, it will make you stand out. Let me tell you something. If your statement of purpose does not stand out, the likely chance of you getting that visa might be low. Why? You have an officer, I said earlier on, you have an officer who wants to go through 200 applications in 30 minutes. Tell me how he's going to do it. So if your statement of purpose does not stand out in the crowd, if it's just the regular thing that everybody keeps writing, or you just write a very flimsy word, it doesn't have to be so voluminous, or you just write something that is just simple. I'm not saying it should be complex, it has to be simple too. But it has to be, if it's simple, it should catch the attention of the officer that is reading it. Because put yourself in the officer's shoe. If you are going to read like 200 statement of purpose in 30 minutes, and you see all of them doing copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, you'll be like, you can switch off. Yeah. But when you see one that strikes you that, wow, this person's profile looks like someone that is serious, yeah, you want to read. If you read, the likelihood that um, your story is interesting, not only interesting, convincing, can actually lead the officer to helping, to giving you or issuing you the visa. So we can actually help you so that your statement of purpose will stand out from the crowd. In conclusion, we cannot actually overemphasize the benefits of a well-written statement of purpose. Statement of purpose is very vital and very key to you getting your study visa approved, because it contains things that the officer will look at, and in the course of looking at it, he will use that to decide whether to issue your visa or not. So a well-written statement of purpose will go a long way in helping you to get a Canada study visa.